around the screen and we position the mouse on some button, there are cases in which associated to this button there are some JavaScript pop-up that come up. So when the tool clicks, actually no script give an alert. Also, if there is no clickjacking at all, it's just that the JavaScript events pop up a banner that is front end to the element you are clicking on. And that's the same as case 2, where you have some iframes that are near to the point where you are clicking, but these iframes are visible and are part of the page. Then there are some strange sites that have some hidden iframes that are located outside of the page margin, so you don't even see this page. But since there are some iframes that are transparent, no script raise an error. And actually, 0.60% of our site has transparent iframe. So I think many of these sites will raise an error if you have no script installed. Regarding Click IDS, so the tool we developed, we had, as I said, 130 false positive, and these were all false positive in where the page contain visible iframe, and this iframe has some clickable content like links and buttons that perfectly overlay with other clickable elements of a page. So actually, this is a strange condition because you have two elements of two different domains that overlay one above each other. And this is actually, if one of the two frames would have been transparent, this would have been a clickjacking, okay? But since it's not transparent, it's not a clickjacking, so this is a false positive, and but this also fit into our definition of clickjacking. So I have to say that we observe a lot of sites that were frame defaced. That means that on this site there were a JavaScript, often an obfuscated JavaScript, that automatically, when the page is visited, it loads another page and it displays this page full screen. So actually this JavaScript is overwriting the content of a page with another external site. And this, if you think about this, maybe in the future there could be some clickjacking attacks that could have been deployed using some stored cross-site scripting. So you have a JavaScript code that is stored somewhere on the page. When the user loads the page, this JavaScript code load an iframe, set it transparently, and put it on the top of the page. Then we have some other cases that we call borderline cases because are not either false positive, not either true positive. And they belong to two categories. The first one is what we call reverse clickjacking. So on some sites, there is an iframe that is embedded in a link tag. And this is something usually you don't do. So what happens is that when the user clicks on an iframe like that one, it thinks to interact with the iframe, but actually the link is stolen, so the click is stolen by the link. Okay? So we call it reverse clickjacking, just because actually you click on something like an iframe, but your click go to the link. That is pointing this example to evil.com. Then there is another categories of, I call it the 505 frame, in which there was an iframe that has been set to be transparent with a transparent background, but since the site were not reachable at that time, so the web browser was generating 505 alert, this page have been rendered by the browser transparently as a clickjacking attack. So just to summarize a bit what we have learned. What we have learned is that iframe are really largely adopted on the internet. And it seems that they have overcome traditional frames. And this maybe raise the question of iframe that can be used in the future as new attack vector. And by the way, despite of the wide media coverage that we observed in the last month and in the last year, we didn't observe many clickjacking pages, even if we analyze more than 1 million sites that possible were malicious, many of them were possibly malicious. So maybe clickjacking is not among the preferred attack vector adopted by miscreants on the internet. Why? Maybe because it's a bit complicated to set up and it's not easy portable. You can think that different browser and different configuration render the page differently. And so if a page is rendered differently from what the attacker would like, actually the button or the links that should overlay one above each other, they don't overlay anymore. And so even if a user, if a page has been clickjacked, when the user clicks, it's not really performing an action. So I will spend the last minutes just to describing a bit the situation. So in the last month, there are some worms that are spreading over Facebook. They will show that they will come on profiles like gadget, and when the user click on one of these usually is redirected to another page. And in this page is a page where there is usually the clickjacking attacks. For example, here there is this stupid human test. Let's say find the blue button to continue, okay? And actually the button to continue is an iframe pointing to the share button of your Facebook page. So when you click there, you're actually sharing this gadget on your profile. Okay, so this attacks I think was spreading in November of last year, and a couple of days ago there was a new worm that is referencing in point C that was doing something similar. Then I want to reference a talk of Paul at Black Hats Europe of this year, that is called Next Generation Clickjacking, in where it was just saying that nowadays clickjacking is even more easier to deploy by using, for example, JavaScript to positionate the hidden iframe in a way that when you move a mouse, when you move a cursor, the iframe follows the cursor. So you don't have to position it statically, but you can position it the iframe dynamically. The same things you can do it with URL fragment identifier. And what is more scaring is that by misusing the API that has been introduced in HTML5, is even possible to inject in a form of a hidden iframe some text. And this is even more easier if you use Java, because with Java you can override the default behavior of a click and drop, and you can say that when the user click once, you activate the click and drop, and when the user click again, it is activated. In this way, the attacker can automatically fill in information in the clickjacked iframe, and this way he can submit forms with whatever string he wants. And he can also do the opposite. He can steal information from a iframe out. So I will conclude saying, giving some mitigation technique. So Microsoft has proposed a frame called X-frame option, and in where you insert in the header of HTTP this frame, this flag, and wherever the browser sees this flag, you want to render the page in a frame. And this header has been now adopted by Internet Explorer 8, Chrome, Opera, Safari, and also by the NoScript plugin for Firefox. The other mitigation technique is the use of frame busting, in where you, as I said before, where you avoid that the page get framed by using a JavaScript code similar to this one you see there. I have to say that there are some way to go around this frame busting protection, and there is a good paper that has recently been proposed that analyzed is the reference 2 that analyzed the the top site of Alexa and give a summary of whether or not this site implements frame busting techniques and how to go around that. Then there are a lot of variants to this frame busting code that are described here in reference number 1. So I will conclude just, let me see, just with this summary, saying that the motivation for our work has been the fact that clickjacking has been has get a lot of wide media coverage, and people get interested in this new threat. That's why we decided to develop a solution to automatically test web pages and try to see if this thread was really used over internet or not. So to do so, we analyzed more than 1 million web pages. And finally, we just found a couple of them that were really vulnerable, and plus a bunch of borderline cases. So the question is currently clickjacking posing an important threat for the internet users? So everybody can draw their conclusion, and I will close in this way. If you have questions, feel free to ask now or maybe offline. Okay, great. So thanks all.